Okay, so cat people, like, ever actually sat down and added up how much our furry little roommates cost us over their, like, whole lives? Get ready for a shocker, because we're talking potentially over 50,000 pounds for two cats.
Yeah, and cuddles and feather wands aren't cheap. But a big chunk of that cost, it actually comes down to vet bills and, believe it or not, the food we feed them.
Exactly. And that's what we're diving into today, this article that'll make you think twice about what you're dishing out at mealtime. Because it's not about skimping, right? It's about those big picture choices that impact their health in the long run, like literally for years.
Totally. This article digs into those kind of hidden costs of commercial pet food, which, let's be real, most of us rely on. But the thing is, a lot of it, even the fancy stuff marketed as like premium, it's basically like us living off fast food. Might be convenient, but it's not really what nature intended, especially for obligate carnivores like cats.
Okay, hold up. For those of us who slept through high school biology, what's an obligate carnivore again?
Basically, it means their bodies are literally built to thrive on meat. Like, their whole system is different from ours. We can process a wider variety of foods, but cats, they need that concentrated animal protein to truly thrive.
Gotcha.
And that's where a lot of commercial pet foods miss the mark, even the expensive ones. They're packed with fillers like grains and starches that are tough on a cat's digestion.
So we're basically feeding our feline overlords the equivalent of chips and candy. No wonder those vet bills add up.
Exactly. And this article gets into the nitty-gritty of it all, like specific ingredients to watch out for. Things like meat byproducts, artificial flavors and colors, and way too many carbs. They sound scary, and they're not doing our cats any favors, that's for sure.
Okay, so we've established that what's going in those cute little cat bowls might not be the best, but, like, what's the alternative? So how do we ditch the junk food and give our cats what they actually need? This entrepreneur, Gareth, he decided to take matters into his own hands. We're talking full-on raw food diet for his pedigree cats. And let me tell you, the results are pretty wild.
Yeah, Gareth's story is a great example of someone who really took their pet's health seriously. He wasn't happy with the store-bought stuff and decided to, source and prepare raw meat himself. It's not for everyone, sure, but the changes he saw in his cats were incredible.
Incredible might be an understatement. We're talking no more trips to the vet, bigger, healthier kittens. Even their fur got all shiny and amazing. Like, they were radiating good health.
Exactly, and that's the key here. A species-appropriate diet can make a world of difference. Cats are obligate carnivores, remember. They thrive on a diet that's mainly animal protein and moisture. And that's what a raw food diet gives them.
Okay, but let's talk about the elephant in the room for a sec. Raw feeding. It's one of those things that tends to, get people fired up.
Oh, definitely. And it's important to remember there are potential risks. Like, if the food isn't handled right, there's a chance of bacterial contamination or even nutritional deficiencies if the diet isn't balanced correctly.
Right.
That's why, if anyone's even thinking about going raw, talking to a vet who knows their stuff about raw feeding, that's super important.
Absolutely. It's about making informed decisions, not just jumping on a trend. And look, Gareth's story isn't telling everyone to start, butchering chickens in their kitchen.
Exactly. The takeaway here is the bigger picture prioritizing whole, natural foods that match our pet's biology. Whether that means going full raw or just choosing better quality commercial food with less junk in it, that's the shift we need to make.
And this is where Gareth's story gets really interesting, because he starts thinking, okay, if this back-to-basics approach is so good for my cats, what about me?
It's that light bulb moment, right? When our pet's health makes us rethink our own habits.
So we've got Gareth totally nailing this whole natural diet thing for his cats. But here's where it gets really interesting. He starts watching how they eat. And you know what? They're like the masters of intuitive eating.
Yeah, they're basically doing their own version of intermittent fasting without even realizing it.
Right. One good meal, and they're done. No grazing, no begging for treats between meals. They just know when they're full.
Exactly. It's like they have this built-in ability to regulate their food intake, something a lot of us humans struggle with, myself included.
Tell me about it. That afternoon craving for sugar is no joke.
Right. But what's cool is that intermittent fasting, it's not some new fad diet, It's this ancient practice we see across different species. And now it's gaining traction in the human health world, too.
Yeah, the science is really backing it up. And Gareth, always up for an experiment, decided to give it a shot himself. Started incorporating it into his routine, and get this. He was blown away by the results.
It's amazing what happens when you start paying attention to your body's natural rhythms, right? And intermittent fasting. It's not about deprivation. It's more like hitting the reset button on your eating patterns.
Totally. And for Gareth, that meant more energy throughout the day, better digestion, even sleeping better. All because he took a page from his cat's playbook.
It just goes to show you, sometimes the simplest solutions are right in front of us. We just need to be open to learning from, well, in this case, our cats.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I think the big takeaway is that being a good pet parent, it's about more than just the brand of food we choose. It's about understanding their instincts, being open to new ideas, and maybe even learning a thing or two from their natural wisdom. Who knows, maybe those quirky cat naps hold the secrets to better sleep for us too.
Now that's something to think about.